Welcome to the Elite Real Estate Agents of SEQ podcast, where I sit down with some of the most successful and respected real estate agents working right here in one of Australia's most beautiful and sought-after regions, Southeast Queensland. This podcast gives you a genuine, behind-the-scenes look at who these agents are as people, what makes them stand out in the industry, and most importantly, can help you decide if they're the right fit to guide your property journey. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. You might just be listening to the perfect person to sell your property. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Elite Real Estate Agents of Southeast Queensland. My name is Adam Bell, and today in the studio my guest is Sarah Schultz from Schultz Realty, a multi-award-winning operator known for strong results across the 4207 corridor. Sarah's been ranked top 100 in Australia 2025, ranked at 55, and has won multiple RateMyAgent and Agency of the Year awards across key suburbs in that area, including Mount Warren Park, Bahrs Scrub and Windaroo. Sarah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, I've known you for quite a while now, and you've been consistently getting incredible results around that region because you're a local, aren't you?
I was, yes, for a very long time. That's why I sort of chose that area, was because I had a lot of family in the area, so I knew it very well.
Okay. Did you grow up there?
For part of my grow up, I did. My grandparents own a property, and then my mother bought that property, and it was in our family for over 42 years. So, yeah, pretty much majority of my life.
Majority of your life, but you've just moved slightly away now?
I have, but only just because I wanted to have like an office. So my office is 4207, 4208, and then I live in 4209 now. So.
Right. Just next door.
Just next door.
Fantastic. What? So tell me a bit about yourself growing up. You grew up in the area. What did you like as a young girl? Tell me the Sarah Schultz story before becoming a real estate agent.
Wow, that's a long story. So I'll make it short. But actually, the very first house I bought was actually at 18. I actually bought in Sunnybank Hills, which is a totally different area again. But it was about price point, obviously, at that point and what I needed to get into the market. So I've always been into real estate even before I became a real estate agent. I had interest in real estate. And we basically renovated that property and made a profit on that property, maybe for the wrong reasons because I was getting a divorce. But either way.
Look, life is what it is.
Either way, we did make a good profit. And now, I mean, that property is probably worth quite a lot being where Sunnybank Hills has actually progressed to since that point. So, yeah.
So what would you be doing if you weren't in real estate, do you think?
Probably self-help, like helping people. No matter what, I've always been wanting to help people. So even with real estate, I see it as that way. I like putting people into their dream homes, and I love seeing their faces and their reactions when they get accepted and they're buying that home. And I like working for sellers and achieving the results they want, and then seeing them excited about their next step, whether that's going into something in a different area or upsize or a downsize or over 50. I mean, I see it all going to all different places all over Australia, some even moving back overseas. But just seeing that excitement is what I like to do to make people happy. And then on the other side of it, I've been studying the mind for a really, really long time. So I like to help other people understand how they can have a happier life, a better life, a funner life if they can understand how to sort of manage their mind. So,
look, I want to touch on that for a bit because you have just released your own book, haven't you?
I have.
Here's
yes.
your chance. Give it a plug.
Oh, I'm not sure it's really for the real estate market, but yeah, I've written a book and it's called Craft a Better Mind. It's now released on Amazon and Ingram Spark. There will be all formats available, including ebook. But it is basically about, I feel like after COVID, people got unkinder. Like it's like the opposite of what I thought COVID would do, because I thought it would bring more compassion for others for what people were going through. But I don't know if everybody else agrees, but I just feel like the world's gone a little bit crazy at times. And, it's a mixture of learning how to be successful, how to set goals, achieve them. There's tasks to do, there's exercises to do, but it's also about learning how to train the mind, build a better self-image, because if you love yourself, then others can love you. being kinder, respectful. So there's a bit of relationship stuff in there because that's how the book originally started.
Sure.
So I originally wrote it in 2012. My grandparents were married for 65 years. It was, a testament to them to show that younger generation that marriage can last and, how to help it make it last and how relationships can be better and things you can do. And then it grew over time to be more than that and be more about like manifestation, vibration, your mind, goals, kindness. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Sure, and I'm certain that's probably things that you've woven into your career as a real estate agent.
100%. Like if I was to test anything, it would be that I do have a positive attitude, and I do believe that pays off, like for sellers as well, because we're trying to make the experience as stress-free as possible. So I need to be in control of my emotions, but I also need to be in control of manifestation. So I need to be manifesting their goals. I need to be manifesting a smooth settlement. I need to be manifesting the right buyer. Yes, things do come our way, but I do feel like our whole office has the attitude of let's solve the problem and move forward, not focusing on the negative, not whinging, not complaining, which then just brings more of that, to be honest. So we try to see the positive outcome of everything.
I love that.
Can.
They're universal laws, aren't they? And they work everywhere. And if you can bring that into your workplace, then generally speaking, you're going to have a lot smoother day and everything's going to go a lot better, isn't it?
That's right. If you stub your toe in the morning and you complain and you whinge, then you'll get more of that. But if you stub your toe and laugh about it and go, wow, that really hurt, but I'm still going to have a good day, you'll have a good day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get into real estate? What was the journey? Where did the decision to do that and when?
Look, we had a few investment properties as a couple. My current husband I've been with 17 years. And we were going in and doing a renovation, finish the renovation, and the local in that area, which is not where I sell, but in another area, couldn't sell the property. And I had all these ideas of why they weren't selling the property and things they could do differently. And I'd been in sales for a really long time in the electrical construction sort of side, or I was doing estimating, or I was in wholesale. I had that sales background. It was just always in me. And my husband said, well, why don't you do real estate? And I said, because I don't want to work weekends. And he's like, you won't even notice that you're working weekends. Don't be ridiculous. And I was like, oh, maybe I am being silly. That was the only reason.
Look, I think there's a lot of people who think that.
I never went into real estate. And then I went, oh, you know what? I'll do it. So I did the whole license so that I could then sell that home. And then I did sell it for $20,000 above when the other real estate couldn't. So then I was like, hey, I've got this. Like, I actually have the gift. Like, I actually came up with things that they didn't even think of. So maybe I've got this. So I kind of worked for a real estate agency for one day. And I just didn't
for
like
one day.
One day. Yep. I sat in the meeting and everything that they said they wanted to do, I went, yeah, no, I don't want to do it that way. Yeah, no, I don't want that. Or whatever. I came with them with ideas and they're like, no, we don't want quirky flyers. That doesn't meet our standard. And I was like, well, I want to have humor in my life. I want to have fun. So this isn't for me. And then actually I interviewed with LJ Hooker and Ray White, and the LJ Hooker principal I did interview with, I'm still friends with now, absolutely love her.
Yep.
So that was really my big decision. Do I go work with her or do I start my own business? And certainly nothing to do with her, still love her, but I thought, no, I can do this on my own. So I just started my business and I'm 10 years in October.
Wow.
So,
well, that's a huge step to make, to firstly go get your license and then just go out on your own from day dot.
Yep. And the sellers that took the risk on me in the beginning, and I can still remember my very first listing and how exciting it was, and sold it for $25,000 above asking price at the first open house in multiple offers. So
how long did it take you to get your first listing?
Not long. Yeah, I think it was a month or two. So I actually thrived even in the first year. I actually held 2 jobs. I was actually working, trying to help a training company get more people in to do their training. And I was doing quite well. I just did it as a subcontract on the side because I thought real estate might take a little while to build up because it is quite a tough industry. But I literally just sat on the phones, I door knocked and I flyer dropped, and that's all I did every minute I wasn't doing the other job. And yeah, I sold 17 in the first year.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is
There's
for me.
There's still agents who don't sell 17 now.
Yeah, well, I was like, this is for me. But if you put in the work, you'll get the reward, I feel like. Sorry if that offends anyone who does put in the work and then they don't get the award. Sorry. But So maybe it also comes down to the mind, I would say. Like if you don't believe in yourself and you don't have that self-confidence, that might come across. I'm certainly not trying to be a cocky. I'm not cocky. I like to think I'm confident, not cocky. But I do try to obviously have confidence because that's really important for the buyers and the sellers to know that I know what I'm doing.
So you've obviously built this, boutique agency now, and you've got an amazing reputation. What do you think you've done differently that's earned this trust, that's earned that reputation in the area that you work?
Look, I think I just genuinely care. I know other people might say the same thing, but I actually do genuinely care. I don't think I fit the mold of a normal real estate agent in the first place. Like I am a very honest person, even in my genuine life. I'm not good at lying, never have been, don't have the time to even remember a lie to remember the next one. So I think that Wazzy wig, which is what I've been called my whole life, which is what you see is what you get, has done me well. It's also served me the opposite way. I lose listings because I can be quite upfront. And some people, aren't always going to like that, but I do say the truth. So I do think that honesty and that caring of the result for the seller does pay off. I do think the sellers know that I genuinely want the best for them. And I genuinely do. I try to build long-term relationships. Like I want to know them after the sale. I'm not just wanting a transaction, I suppose. Yeah.
Sure. Now you have won a lot of awards for both agency and agent. What does elite service look like to you?
I think it's just like we're always on, real estate is in general, but when we're looking ourselves, like we're currently looking right now, we're not getting responses from real estate agents for a week on a property for sale. I would be mortified if I was a seller and knew that. Some of them, they're not even giving us inspections. We have a motto. I have a team. I've hired 3 people to work with me. So they're working with me on my listing so that I obviously can't be in 100 places at once, but that way my phone is being answered all the time. That way the emails are being responded to immediately. We are working on getting a buyer through straight away. We are answering emails at, 8 p.m. at night. We are doing everything we can, like I said, to do for the seller the best thing possible, but also for the buyers. People work. Like life is tough. Life is stressful. It's not easy to look for a home. So I actually have a buyer's agent side as well. So I'm representing a few people on the buyer's agent side as well in the market at the moment because it's a bit of a tough market. There's a lack of listings and more buyers, and some people don't know how to navigate that. So
tell us a bit more about that. It's something that agents seem to be doing now. Like I know there are specialist buyers, a lot of them out there.
Yeah, where they just do
now.
that. Yeah.
So tell us a bit more. How did you transition into offering that to buyers?
Look, I actually have had it there for a while, and I did dibble in a few, but I've never really marketed it. I would say I've kind of just let it fall where it's come, and I've just had a few recently that have reached out, and we've really quite enjoyed that. So we've just put a lady in a home that had been looking for a really long time, 2 years, and hadn't been able to find something, and now she's moved in and settled. So that was really nice as well to help someone. And sometimes it's hard because you don't know in a multiple offer situation what that means. What does the agent really mean by that? And every agent does have a different way of marketing. So having an agent help you, I think, can navigate knowing other people and what that would be. I feel like agents are nice as well because you're representing the buyer. You're not there to try to take some of their commission. They want to sell the house. You've got a qualified buyer. It's a win-win, for everybody.
Yep.
It's huge in America, and it's only just kind of dibbled over here, to be honest. Yeah.
I guess you'd see that when you're the selling agent as well, and you're dealing through someone with,
Love it. I've got 120 really close buyers agents all over Australia for a reason, because we want to help them because they've got buyers that we don't have. We're not going to have those buyers. They're not actively looking because they've hired a buyer's agent to help them because they're sick of looking, or they don't have time to look, or they've struggled to look, or they don't know how to navigate it. So then straight away, if you're getting an offer from a buyer's agent, you got a qualified buyer, it's not falling on finance, at Building and Pest that the agent understands what a building and pest is about. They'll be talking to their client through that. So it's like a win-win situation for everybody, the buyer, the buyer's agent, the selling agent, and the seller, to get a good transaction, good sale through the line at the right price,
Sure.
And they don't tend to offer less or anything like that either. Buyers agents, are in the mix. They know in a multiple offer situation what to do to sometimes elevate that buyer to get the property.
Sure. All right. Tell us a couple of stories.
Okay.
What's have you got a favourite sale, a favourite deal that you've done over that 10 years?
I really honestly genuinely do love everything, but I have a sale that was a challenge, but probably my biggest challenge. There
Sure,
was a
tell us
house
about that.
in Windaroo that was a Mexican style house. And so it had been on the market with 3 other agents prior to me. And when they got me in, they're like, what are we doing wrong? Just give it to me. We've heard you'll say it real. So I did. And then she was like, wow, I wasn't expecting you to be that honest. But there were things that we needed to do to like change the property. The issue is that a lot of the time you can get buyers to see the potential, but there was just too much where it was overbearing of one very isolated style only. So we had to change that. And some of that came from me coming up with ideas as well. Like they didn't want to repaint the whole outside of the house, but I put up an illustration of what the house would look like in a different color as part of the advertising so buyers could see what it would look
get
like.
A feel for
it just said illustration purposes, but just little things like that. It was just moving the furniture around. Also, like the furniture made the house look small the way it was situated. Some little bits and what do I explain, like maintenance things that didn't seem like a big deal were big deals to buyers. So they needed to just fix some of those things to make sure that wasn't going to continue to come up. And we ended up getting it sold. So yeah, it was an exciting sale at the time because it seemed like the impossible and everyone in the street was talking about it, and we made it happen. And now I really hope the new buyer hasn't reached out to me for a little while now, but I know they were loving it. So
sure. Tell me about a time you've achieved a price well above what even maybe you expected.
Just recently, actually, I had a double story in Believer, which is just basically Windaroo. But it's like in that one area at an intersection, you've got Windaroo, Bahrs Scrub, Bannockburn and Believer all in that intersection. It's kind of crazy, to be honest, what the council was thinking. But at that time, I think the highest sale in there as like a standard land size of like 400 to 600 is about just over 1 million. We were going over 1.3, so we knew it was a higher price, but it did offer a lot. So I focused on why it should be that price, but it is like obviously a record for that type of property. And I wasn't sure, but we found the right buyer who was wanting to build, didn't have the right land. It literally fitted because, again, it was a really big home, fitted the size that they needed. Location's great. Like it's a walk across the road from the shop. So yeah, I think I just focused on all the right things and we did it, and I was really, really stoked. There's a few times recently we've got some street records or suburb records at the moment.
Yep.
So
okay. Well, I will ask you a bit more about those a little later on, but I now just want to talk a little bit more about you away from the job. What are you into? What are your interests? Tell us about your family.
Well, I've got 4 kids all up, but currently one living with us full time because the others either were from a blended family or my daughter's older now. Like she's not old, but she's 26. Yeah. But my husband and I, we like to do Latin dancing. So we've been doing that for about 4 years, and we're about to start getting into amateur competition.
Okay.
God help us. But yeah, no, we do enjoy that. We actually really like the outdoors. I love to do rides and travel and bushwalks and like that kind of thing for me. Really enjoy seeing new things for the first time. So basically Christmas, when it gets a bit quiet, we try to do sort of one sort of trip where we're experiencing something new, where I know that the business is everything's all sorted, it's all going to be okay, or it's closed because like everything closes for 2 weeks and we have a bit of a holiday. So yeah, I do like to travel and see new things. And hobbies would be, just like exercise, I guess, which I know sounds really boring, but not gym exercise, more like outdoor exercise, like walking and riding and even like swimming in pools and things like that.
And your young son, he's a bit of an entrepreneur, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yep. Darius is great. He's got 100,000 followers. He's like a DJ.
100,000 followers.
Yep. He's a DJ mixer. He's
He sings.
He sings, yes.
I saw something on social media where he was sending a message to Richard Branson.
No. That was Elon Musk.
Elon
he
Musk,
absolutely
sorry.
loves Elon Musk's brain.
Yep.
And he's reading a book. He just wants to be in the brain of a tech person. He sort of sees himself as a bit of a tech. So he can make videos. He does graphic design. Like, it actually blows me away. He's actually smarter than me and a lot of that stuff. At the moment, he's getting all of our old computers and he's pulling them apart and studying them so he can learn. He just has that kind of interest. He had an idea of a car, which was a boat, plane and car all in one for the future. And he even came up with how it could possibly work and did all these drawings and everything and wanted to pitch it to Elon Musk, but Elon Musk never replied. But, what do we really expect? But he put it out there. He did the universe.
Absolutely.
He put it out there.
No,
we were
for
hoping
sure.
someone in that world, but I mean, Elon Musk at the moment is doing all his other stuff. So
He is.
Yeah,
He is.
busy man.
Okay, so tell me what's special about your area there in 4207.
Look, I think what's really great about the areas I sell in is I just still think they're like huge up and coming. I think they're a watch this space area. They're literally in between the Gold Coast and Brisbane. There's so much happening really close by with the M2 and what's happening in Coomera, which is going to be that next big hub.
Yep.
Which is so close. There's two hospitals. There's Kaya's. There's the Pimpama Homemaker Centre, which is going to be the biggest one. And I think this is sort of a bit of a sleeping suburb, but Eagleby, Beenleigh, Yatla, Windaroo, Mount Warren, Ormo, Bahrs Scrub, like all of those. You've got acreage in there. Like, people don't even realise what you can get for where it is until they come in there.
When you look at the southeast Queensland area, it's probably the most affordable of all areas left.
It is, but also like you get like some really great houses. Like, I just love rocking up because every house is different. Like, it's very rare that I'll walk into a house and I've seen it before, which is what I absolutely love. Like, every property in Mount Warren, Windaroo, Bahrs Scrub, they're all different land, different shapes of houses, different character, different shape, different outside form. Like, they're just completely different. So from a buyer's point of view, they don't want the same as the next person. So I do think you get character, you get raised ceilings, you get bigger bedrooms, for a really good price, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this podcast is set up for buyers and sellers to listen and really, get to know agents and what the difference is. So I want to get your take on, what the difference is between having a boutique agency like yourself and dealing with a big brand.
Well, I can't say exactly because I'm not working for a big brand, but I do know we have a very big database, so we match them in that regard. We're not focusing on other areas and other listings. Everybody in my office is focusing on the listings that are in front of us, so they do get that, I guess, one-on-one honing in. I do think we spend more time being outside of the box and thinking of other things to do to be able to sell the property other than just the standard, because they all just get the standard because they're in a franchise. They have to follow the franchise. So there's little movement. We have a lot more flexibility. I think there's a little bit more of like, instead of someone being a number, they're a real person to us and we genuinely care. And I think that is a big deal. There are some people that don't want that and they want just a transaction. So then that might be the best way to go. But I'm constantly growing as a person. I'm constantly growing and learning. I'm very humble, but I also am an expert at what I do. So I think it's a win-win. I don't know that other people sit there and evaluate themselves the way that I do and evaluate the business on a month-by-month basis, constantly growing ways to be better, to do more, or whatever for the clients that we're bringing in. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's run through a few stats. You said 17 sales in your first year. How many sales would you have done in the last 12 months?
The last 12 months was one of the toughest years actually in real estate.
Okay.
In the last 10 years, it's tough.
Yep.
I think I did 59 or 60 or something like that. Yeah. But at my peak, I did like 108. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. How many would you have done overall?
I was thinking about this the other day. I'd love to do a think about this and how much $1 million worth of like
total
property and things, but
that
I
would be
haven't
an
done.
interesting
I
one.
haven't done it, but we think maybe in the 800s or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now, tell us about your staff. How many staff do you have?
I have 4 all up. One being my mum, who's worked for me for the last like 9 of the 10 years. She's really wanting to retire, but I just can't go without her. She's just my rock. But yeah, no, she's still in the business, like sort of 10 to 15 hours. She's really crucial to the other staff. I feel like she's really good mentor. She's someone I can like go like, what do you when you're wanting to talk to someone and get. Because, even as like the principal and the owner of the business, like I said, we're always growing and you need someone to be able to talk to. So I actually have a coach as well. I always have a coach, whether it's a mind one or a real estate one, always got to have something where I'm continually learning and growing. So I use the 2 of them for that. But, she's there because I'm out all the time. I'm doing appraisals, inspections, seeing people, talking to people on the phone, having open houses. So the staff in the office have her there for someone to like talk to immediately if I'm not there kind of thing. So not just for the buyers and the sellers, but also for my staff. So Maddie is everyone's qualified in my business. They have to have the license so that everybody can do everything in the business. I don't want people to not be able to have a conversation or not be able to do something. But yeah, Maddie basically handles like all of the contract side and all of the typing and the administration side. But she's a really quick thinker. She's thinking about, is someone's finance due? Have we called them? Doing all of that, chasing up. She's there answering the phone if it's in the office and I'm out. I've got Emily who she does all the stuff like, people need to be doing flyer drops. People need to be going out and putting sold stickers on. There's actually a lot of things you got to do. Like there's a lot of things she does that she has to go out and do, just purchasing all of the things. We have settlement gifts. We have post-appraisal gifts. We have like all these things that we have to buy. We have to, make them up. You've got to like, even with flyers, you've got to count them. Like there's so many little details that she does that are really important to the business. Jed is my right arm out on the, like he's with me at appraisals. If I'm unavailable to do an inspection, but we really want to meet the buyers and sellers' needs, he might do the inspection and then I do the follow-up after that. But he's, very good at that. He wants to be a real estate agent himself. One day I think he'll be a great real estate agent when the time comes. So he's like there doing all that stuff. He's preparing open house stuff. That he's there with the open houses, signing people in. He knows everything about all the properties as well. And then you got Mum, obviously in the background.
Great. All right. Ready for my quick fire round?
Sure.
Okay.
I feel like I'm on a TV show, like a quiz show now or something.
Well, you are. You are. Okay. Weirdest thing you've ever been offered in a negotiation that's legal?
Oh, weirdest thing. I don't think I've really ever had anything offered to me. Sometimes they'll buy me a present, which I think is weird because I'm supposed to buy them a present. But
yeah, maybe that. What's the best present you've ever gotten from someone who's been?
Look, I think this Christmas just gone, the photographer that we use bought me this humongous hamper. Like, I mean, it was massive, and it had like even like a tray for getting food in your bed and it just had, and everything that was in there I really liked. Normally when I get all those things I'm like, I don't like that, but it was good.
One word to describe your negotiation style.
Look, a lot of the negotiations end up being multiple offers, so I think my negotiation style is fair and by the book. I'm very much by the book. If it's like one-on-one, results driven.
Okay. Most awkward thing a seller has left out during an inspection, an open home.
Oh, probably jewelry. I had really expensive jewelry left in a property. We were like, oh my God, like that, like really expensive. So we're on the phone to the seller going, you can't leave this out. Like we don't think people would, do that. We've never had that, but just in case, we don't even want to risk it. So we were like trying to find a place in the walk-in robe to try and hide it.
What's your agent pet peeve? What drives you nuts?
I don't really know that I have one really, but I guess probably the one I think it's not really a peeve, but I think it's just more a misunderstanding is when you have a house that's not perfect, it's 25 years old, a buyer purchases it seeing all of that. They get a building and pest and then they ask for a reduction for everything they could see, including like paint and like you can't, like a building and pest is for things you can't see.
Yep.
So it's like if there was a leak or if there's a termite problem or if there's a structural problem, but then they're asking for the concrete driveway to be fixed because there's a crack in it. Well, name a driveway that doesn't have a crack in it. So just frustrating things because you don't want to be rude to the buyer, but obviously the sellers are going off because they're like, this is ridiculous. So, yeah, that's probably a challenging situation. I wouldn't say a pet peeve.
Okay. Biggest myth about real estate agents?
That it's easy. Yeah, huge, massive, massive myth. Massive myth. Like there's a reason only 5% succeed in real estate. We're one of the only industries in the world that work for free. We can work for free for a very long time, especially if you're doing it like me. We only get paid if we settle a house. Like it can take years just to get one listing that you've been working on that you might have spent hours and hours for free on.
Yep.
And then get offers and the sellers refuse those offers. Have worked 90 days with all of your staff doing opens and inspections and your car, your fuel, like everything. And then in the end them say, oh, we decided not to sell. Like, and there's a lot of that. And there's a lot where I may have invested 5 years and been out there 5 times and sent many emails, letters, texts, called them, spent like hundreds of hours really over 5 years for them to go, oh, we've gone with LJ Hooker because they just called at the right time.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a lot of that side and a lot of people quit for that reason too, because they just can't handle it. It's very different than going to a job every day and just get paid a wage.
Sure.
I don't get a wage at all. So, yeah.
All right. If your real estate career was a movie, what would it be called?
My real estate career was a movie. Oh, geez.
The Fast and the Furious. Jaws.
I don't know. You've got me like, I don't know. Something about growing and manifesting or something. I don't know.
Okay. The Secret.
No, that's taken.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Final 2 questions. What's your top tip for homeowners when selling?
I think the biggest tip I would give in the market right now is just to focus on the maintenance things. Like it's more, the style and all the interior and little bits and bobs. We can help with that on the spot. We can move things. We can, give you ideas that aren't like time consuming. But when it comes to a building and pest, if you've got big issues, you should resolve those. Like particularly check your showers not leaking, that your roof's not got cracked tiles and leaks going in there. And also I think just being upfront, like if you've got movement, it's okay. It's just we need to be telling people and then they understand what they're buying. It doesn't mean you get less. It's just, being upfront about any issues can help us resolve either being upfront with buyers or them fixing, and we can tell them what is needed too. And also trusting, especially if they're listing with me, trusting that I have their best interest at heart. So if they want a long settlement, I'm not going to make them move quickly. Like, we'll get a long settlement because we can tell the buyers that at the very beginning. So again, as long as everything is all communicated well up front, anything is possible.
Sure. If someone's listening now and considering using you as their agent, what would you say to them?
I would say you're choosing the right place. I would say they're in safe hands. They're in trusted hands. I know how to market the property. I know how to get the buyers in. I know how to get the offers up. But I also, can be trusted that what I will say will be the truth.
Fantastic. Sarah, thanks so much for joining me on the Elite Real Estate Agents of Southeast Queensland podcast. So if you are in that 4207 area, Mount Warren Park, Bahrs Scrub, Windaroo, Look out for the blue car, the very shiny big blue car with Sarah Schultz written all over it. Sarah will be in it wearing her it's a standout blue that's everywhere. So look, if you do want to get in touch with Sarah, her details are in the show notes. Please do get in touch. And look, thanks for joining us again on the podcast. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please do give us a like, a share, and hit follow so you don't miss any other episodes. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Sarah, thanks once again.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Elite Real Estate Agents of SEQ. If today's guest sounded like the right agent to help with your next move, please reach out. You'll find all their details in the show notes and episode description. And if you're a real estate agent interested in being showcased on the podcast, visit www.podproaustralia.com.au to learn more and register your interest. If you enjoyed the podcast, we'd love it if you could like, share, and rate the podcast, and let us know in the comments if there's an agent you've dealt with and you think they should be featured next. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.